They call it paradise. Turquoise waters, overwater villas, champagne on arrival, and butler service at sunset. But what if the paradise you're standing on is sinking? Right now, some of the world's most luxurious destinations, places synonymous with wealth, privacy, and exclusivity, are on the front lines of climate change. The very islands where billionaires vacation, honeymooners celebrate, and celebrities escape the spotlight may not survive the next century. In fact, some could vanish within decades. So today, we're asking the uncomfortable question: will these luxury paradise be underwater soon? Let's start in the Maldives, often called the crown jewel of island luxury. It's a dreamscape of 1,192 coral islands scattered like pearls across the Indian Ocean. Resorts like Soneva Jani, Cheval Blanc Randelli, and the St. Regis Vomuli redefine indulgence, offering personal chefs, private infinity pools, and underwater restaurants where stingrays glide past your dinner table. But here's the catch. The average elevation of the Maldives is just 1.5 meters above sea level. That makes it the lowest country on Earth. And as sea levels rise, the Maldives faces an existential threat. According to the UN, 80% of the islands could become uninhabitable by 2050 due to flooding, erosion, and freshwater contamination. This isn't hypothetical, it's already happening. High tides now routinely wash over resort walkways. Sandbanks vanish. Foundations shift. Resorts spend millions each year rebuilding beaches and reinforcing villas, just to keep up with nature. Some are even deploying beach nourishment projects, flying in tons of sand from elsewhere, just to keep their signature white coastlines from disappearing. The government, alarmed, has created a sovereign fund to potentially buy land abroad, just in case a full national relocation is necessary. But in the luxury sector, there's a counter-move. Developers are betting on floating architecture. Think amphibious villas and eco-resorts designed to rise with the sea. In 2022, the Maldives announced plans for a fully floating city, 5,000 homes, shops, and schools built on linked platforms, just minutes from the capital. Solar-powered, self-sustaining, and climate-resilient. It sounds futuristic, but it may be the only option. Now let's fly to the South Pacific, to Bora Bora, Tahiti, and the tiny atolls of Tuvalu and Kiribati. These are the classic honeymoon destinations. Picture-perfect lagoons, volcanic peaks, and private bungalows suspended over the sea. They're not just beautiful, they're symbolic, a tropical dream. But they're also vanishing. Most of these islands are no more than 2 meters above sea level. Warmer oceans are bleaching coral reefs, which act as natural barriers. Saltwater is infiltrating freshwater supplies. Crops fail. Entire communities are being forced to consider permanent relocation. Tuvalu and Kiribati have become climate ground zero. Their leaders have made emotional pleas at the UN. Kiribati has already purchased land in Fiji as a backup nation. Tuvalu is digitizing its cultural heritage, preserving the country in the metaverse if it disappears in the real world. Luxury resorts in these regions are scrambling. Some are elevating overwater bungalows. Others are investing in artificial reefs, mangrove restoration, and coral farming. But the pace of damage may outstrip their efforts. It raises a pressing question. How do you market paradise when your shoreline is literally sinking? Now let's look at a different kind of luxury. Miami Beach. It's a playground for the rich. Rooftop infinity pools, Art Deco mansions, oceanfront penthouses. Real estate prices here rival Manhattan. Celebrities, crypto millionaires, hedge fund titans. Everyone wants in. But Miami is sinking, and fast. Sea level around South Florida has risen by over 6 inches since the 1990s, and the rate is increasing. Here, the flooding is often surreal. It can happen on sunny days. Saltwater bubbles up from the sewers, floods roads, and damages cars, without a cloud in the sky. Developers have raised streets. New buildings are required to sit higher. Seawalls grow taller each year. But the clock is ticking. Some insurers are backing out. FEMA, flood maps are being redrawn. And residents are beginning to whisper about something once unthinkable: climate gentrification. That's right. Higher elevation neighborhoods, once considered less desirable, are becoming hot commodities, while low-lying coastal zones are increasingly seen as risky investments. Ironically, the rich are now moving away from the water. Let's head to the Caribbean, home to some of the most exclusive resorts on Earth: St. Bart's, Turks and Caicos, Anguilla, the Bahamas. Here, luxury is served barefoot: private islands with personal chefs, helicopter landings, and multi-million-dollar beachfront estates. But these jewels are weathering storms more brutal than ever. In 2017, Hurricane Irma leveled vast swaths of the region. Entire resorts were flattened. Branson's Necker Island was obliterated. St. Martin's infrastructure collapsed. Recovery took years and billions. But that was just one storm. Climate models predict fewer, but much stronger hurricanes in the years ahead. Think Category 5 on steroids. And many of these islands, economically dependent on tourism, simply can't afford repeated rebuilding. Resorts are reinforcing with concrete stilts and storm-proof glass. Some are buying extra land further inland. But what happens when the beach, the product, is gone? Some Caribbean nations are working on climate adaptation strategies. Barbados is investing in green infrastructure. Dominica is branding itself as the world's first climate-resilient nation. Still, the fear is palpable. What happens to a luxury destination when luxury itself becomes impossible to maintain? It's not just tropical islands. Even historic cultural destinations are at risk. Take Venice. Elegant, eternal, fragile. Venice has been sinking for centuries, but now rising seas are compounding the problem. Floods, once seasonal, are now monthly. In 2019, floodwaters surged to over 1.8 meters, damaging homes, hotels, and centuries-old artworks. Enter MOSE, a multi-billion-euro underwater barrier system. When deployed, it temporarily protects the city from extreme tides. But scientists warn that MOSE is a short-term solution. If sea level rise continues as projected, the system could become obsolete within decades. And what then? Venice is both a tourist magnet and a luxury destination. 5-star hotels overlook canals. Gondolas ferry guests from historic suites to Michelin-starred restaurants. But if rising tides turn the city into a theme park of flooded ruins, will tourists still come? Or will they flee to safer, higher destinations? All of this points to a larger trend: climate-resilient luxury. In the past, luxury meant location: oceanfront, beachside, water as close as possible. Now it's shifting. Height matters, elevation matters, self-sufficiency matters. That's why some of the world's most elite buyers are turning to Iceland, New Zealand, Norway, Patagonia, places with fresh water, high elevation, and stable climates. Luxury is becoming survivalist. Private islands with their own agriculture, chalets with off-grid solar systems, villas with desalination plants, and carbon-neutral operations. The future isn't just beautiful, it's resilient. And it begs the question, will the concept of paradise change completely? But we have to ask, what happens to those left behind? Because while the wealthy build floating villas and climate bunkers, the people who make paradise function, the hotel staff, the taxi drivers, the fishermen, the farmers, face a different reality. In Tuvalu, a child growing up today may become a refugee before adulthood. In the Bahamas, storm surges don't just destroy resorts, they destroy schools, markets, hospitals. In Miami, rising insurance costs are pushing lower-income families out, even as billionaires build flood-resistant smart homes next door. Luxury can adapt, but justice? That's harder. Climate change is not just an environmental crisis, it's an economic one, a social one, a moral one, and nowhere is that more visible than in paradise. So, will these places disappear? Not all of them. At least, not immediately. Some will adapt through architecture, innovation, and policy. Some will sink, slowly, and be replaced by new destinations higher up and further inland. Others may survive physically, but lose their essence. The charm, the culture, the magic that made them paradise in the first place. But one thing is certain: climate is changing the map of luxury travel. The next generation of billionaires may not chase beachfront real estate. They may chase elevation, stability, and sustainability. Because in a world where sea level is rising, paradise isn't where the water meets the sand. It's where the ground feels safe beneath your feet. Let us know in the comments. Where would you go before it disappears? And if you want more stories on the intersection of wealth, travel, and climate, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because the most luxurious places on Earth might not be around forever.